Now, the hotly anticipated US CPI print is due out on Wednesday at 1:30 UK time. The CPI print measures the average change in prices paid by consumers for goods and services over time, serving as a primary indicator of inflation, and inflation directly affects the purchasing power of consumers and businesses. So with US inflation in particular focus right now, what kind of moves can we expect in the S&P 500? This is where Seasonax's event feature is really helpful. Looking at the last 5 years, we can see that some of the largest moves, both higher and lower, but there is a greater emphasis on moves lower than moves higher. That's the first thing to notice. The maximum loss has been 9.51%. Maximum gain has been 3.06%. So what we can see that the largest gains, if we just look at this maximum rise, tends to be like 1.2, 1.3, 1.2, 1.71, 1.3. That's the sort of largest gains you might expect. Whereas if you look at the largest falls, you can see that the largest falls, 2.9, 5.89, 9.51, 3.88, 2.37. So the first thing we can see is that the market is happier to sell stocks on a CPI print than it is to buy them in terms of the large moves. So that means with US CPI and super focus, that's really helpful. We can see that if we see a big miss in the data and the CPI print comes in below analysts' minimum expectations, so if the core CPI is below 0% for month on month, below 3.0% for the year on year, for the headline below 0.1, for the headline below 2.9, then we could expect maybe 1.2, 1.3% gain in the S&P 500 based on the historical moves. However, if we see hot inflation, 0.4 here, 3.4 here above the highs, 0.4, 3.2 above market's maximum expectations, then we could see a fall of 2% plus in the S&P 500. So just to be aware that there's all outlooks have risks, and there's a very strong hammer reversal bar on the S&P 500's weekly chart could prove a launching point for price this week, especially if the US CPI print comes in much lower than analysts are expecting. Trade risks, the move will be dependent, of course, on the CPI data. And remember that markets can always respond in an unexpected way. Sign up here for literally thousands of more seasonal insights just waiting to be revealed. Remember, don't just trade it, Seasonax it.